What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the second attempt, apparent attempt at Trump assassination attempt. We're going to kind of go over the details a little bit, or at least as of, that we know of right now, or that I have heard of, anyways, and just kind of go through it, give my opinion about it, and all that good stuff. So, but before we do that, if you are liking the content and stuff on here, again, please consider subscribing, like, share, all that good stuff. If you would like to check out my other channels, I'm over here, JMD Drummer, for my drum videos and stuff like that. And I've started doing reactions over there as well, music reactions and stuff. So if you want to check that out, do that. And then here, play right there. If you would like to, watch me do gaming and stuff like that, you can check out right there is my gaming channel. Of course, Discord is right there. If you want to check out the Discord, I have a Discord for all of that. It's got like labeled out, JMDPLAY, ClearTalk. I even have JM Puzzling in there, although I don't oftentimes like promote it or anything. But that's my other channel. I guess I could start throwing it in here. It doesn't matter, but I hardly go on that channel. I hardly do anything on it because the puzzling thing is kind of a hit and miss. I do it from time to time, but not all the time. Anyway, but if you would like to do a one-time donation, check out here. And then, of course, up there you can go to JMD Nation on Patreon if you would like to do a subscription. Cheapest there is $3. And I've started tiers for JMDPLAY and ClearTalk for this channel. I haven't yet quite staged out the benefits and stuff yet. I'm still trying to figure those out for this channel. What I could really do for this channel as far as any kind of benefits. But if you would like to help, just contribute, to all of it, and help out, that tier is $3. So all the small tiers, there's a starter tier for each one of them. Well, JMDPLAY and ClearTalk only has one tier, but JMD Drummer has 3 though. But the starter one there again is $3, and then it's 10 and then 20 depending upon what you want to help out with there. So you can check those out. All of it helps all the channels and helps me to continue doing this, and helps motivate me, helps give me ideas and stuff. You can subscribe there, and what ideas you get, that will be one benefit for ClearTalk, is you get priority for things to talk about and stuff. That's one thing I know I'll definitely have on there as a benefit for subscribing to that. But yeah, you can check all that out, and if you would like. So thank you very much, though. It's not not necessary. You can just come and watch videos for free if you like. I'd still like you to subscribe, though. That would help a whole lot. Anyway, but anything you can do to help is grateful. I am grateful for. So, all right. So now to the subject at hand. All right, what we know is that Trump was at one of his golf clubs, golfing he was out there. I think it was either like hole 4 or hole 5, on one of his golf courses in Florida. And basically he was on that hole, I think, taking his shots and stuff. From what I understand, he was about to get a birdie, supposedly. I believe it was a birdie he was supposed to get. Because he actually requested after this. He actually did request after to continue playing because he was about to get a birdie. He has his moments where he actually is kind of funny. What you had Secret Service scouting the next holes up, scouting the perimeter and all that kind what they're supposed to do to make sure that it's safe before he advances. And it was the next hole, I'm assuming hole 6, or one of the few. I guess it was the next hole. It was the next hole that was to the outer perimeter fence that was close to the road. Which there might be a couple of this whole course was kind of close to it was like in an urban or close to a road area. And there's apparently like bushes and stuff lining that particular side, or maybe all around it. It could be bushes. I don't know the exact perimeter. I haven't like seen the layout of this course or anything, but and they noticed spotted like the barrel or something of his weapon that he had, either sticking out from the bush and whatever. Anyways, it caused for caution and concern. They started to like approach, I guess, and took a couple of shots. The subject did not get any shots off or anything like that. He was apparently waiting for Trump. From what it's understood, he had a AK-47 type of rifle. Trump was approximately about 400 feet away, I'm thinking. And it was they said between 300 and 500, but they were gauging it was around 400, like the closest, like accurately is around 400 feet. Or yards, I guess. I'm sorry, not feet, yards. 400 yards away. I'm trying to be clear there. And the AK range, like most accurate range, is around 300 to 330 or something like that. From my understanding, I'm not a professional on weapons or anything like that, so you feel free to correct me if you like, if I'm wrong on that. But that's what my understanding is, that their range is somewhere around 300, 330, something like that. I guess 350. He was too far out of range that apparently the subject was waiting for him to get closer before he took a shot. But Secret Service spotted him first. He takes off running, gets into his vehicle, which is apparently something like a black or dark colored Nissan, and takes off. But before he actually leaves, there was apparently a standbyer who noticed the individual, apparently thought he was sketchy, noticed that he was running, thought something, of it. So they took a picture of his license plate as he was leaving, and that was then recovered by the local law enforcement, and in tandem with security and stuff, they found him, I think, in the next county. Like, he had just crossed over into the next county on a highway, and they found him, stopped him, took him into custody, all that good stuff. And that was that. I think he had a trial or something that same day, that afternoon or something. I don't know. He was charged with, from my understanding, having a weapon of mass destruction in his vehicle. So apparently he had another gun in his vehicle, because he left the gun that he had in the bushes. He left it there. He like just put the gun down, took off running. So apparently he had another gun in his vehicle, I'm assuming. So, he was caught. They charged him with that. And from my understanding, that's all they charged him with. Because technically, he did not shoot at the former president. Yes. So it would be kind of hard to get him on any kind of like attempted assassination. Uh, it would be hard to get him on those charges. So, because technically, like I said, he didn't shoot. Now you could, we could deduce that that was probably the intention. I mean, very likely. I mean, unless for some reason he had some sort of issue with one of Trump's guards or whoever else may have been with him. And I'm pretty sure, though, I'm pretty sure everybody knows it was more or less the target was Trump. But yeah, so then of course, like I said, Trump, he asked to continue golfing, but they said no and pulled him from the court. The court. Of course, and then they went on about that. So, what we know about the guy is a he lives in Hawaii. He is apparently has a lot of just based on, so we'll start with just like the surface stuff, social media and everything. He's apparently has a very big social media platform, for a huge advocate for Ukraine, like obsessively. The guy, from all accounts, apparently has some sort of mental issue or just obsessiveness with like certain issues that he feels inclined to get active in. And Ukraine is apparently his latest, where he's obsessed with Ukraine, and anything he can do to help Ukraine. To the point, this is just recent stuff. He has a record going back years, but that we'll get to. But he has apparently recently he has actually been to Ukraine, attempting to try to like help get people to go there to fight and whatnot. I think he attempted himself to, but he was turned down, from my understanding, and basically sent away, like, told to, they don't need him, don't want him. And yeah, that, and then of course now making this attempt. Before that though, he was apparently, and is to say, okay, how he, oftentimes you immediately go to, okay, well then what does he stand for? What is his, affiliations, politically, that kind of stuff. From what we understand, in 2016, he voted for Trump, but apparently, and as far as like senators to, or local things, he's kind of a mixed bag. He's kind of a mixed bag all around. But apparently he got really upset with Trump when he ripped up and got us out of the Iran nuclear agreement. And that turned him sour towards Trump, particularly. That was like that seemed to be the one thing that particularly turned him against Trump. In 2020, he supported, all signs show that he supported Tulsi Gabbard. And then, as of recent, as far as just a presidential thing or whatever, he apparently was been tossing the idea on his social medias and stuff that he would have liked to have seen a Ramaswamy Haley ticket, which is kind of weird because he apparently is very vehement, like anti-warish type to some degree, or has like that sentiment anyways. And also the fact that he supports Ukraine so much, but yet Ramaswamy was very much anti-Ukraine, or at least anti-helping Ukraine. So that's kind of weird, but it must have been other reasons why he like that. But so, um, that's his recent affiliations, and um, he clearly there have been reports going all the way back as far as his like legal history. He back in 2002, I believe it was 2002 or 2006, somewhere in that realm. I can't remember. I think it's 2002. He apparently was caught with a fully automatic weapon, which is illegal, even today. But and he ran from the cops, blocked himself into some sort of business, and locked himself up in there till eventually they, talked him out or got him out or something like that. He was charged with having the weapon, resisting arrest, all that good stuff. And then he's also had bouts with other things like speeding tickets, but which is nothing. But it seemed like there was something else I can't remember now. That was pretty big. But so he has a very big, he's had a history with weapons, and a rap sheet on that. He has been flagged by even like representatives from Ukraine to the U.S. Like he's been flagged by Ukraine, people from Ukraine to our like federal agencies, FBI and stuff like that, as like you need to watch this guy. He's crazy. His intentions are not like where they need to be. Blah blah blah. Like we keep having to turn him away. He's wanting to do this and that. Blah blah blah. And we keep they had this. Like because he's apparently made trips to Ukraine several times trying to engage in different things, and they keep pushing him away, turning him away, over and over and over again. But but even with all that, he was apparently never flagged. The weapon that he had that they recovered from the scene at the course, is assumed that it was obtained illegally. The part of the serial number was scratched off. So, this brings up a whole lot of questions. For one, why hasn't this individual already been flagged? Why wasn't he already watched, and been watched? Because if that was the case, from what we know, also is that he arrived and was apparently hiding in the bushes for a full 12 hours. From, I'm assuming, camera footage around the area that they were able to obtain and look at showed him arriving and literally camping out in the bushes for 12 hours before this incident. So yeah, it's like, why is this individual able to... Why hasn't he been watched? Why hasn't he even been like questioned? I mean, perhaps even raided or something to find. Why is this individual has not been flagged for not not being mentally... This is where the red flag laws come into play argument, along with, of course, just gun safety all around. And if we had better red flag laws and everything, you could question whether or not, this would have been easier found, and dealt with beforehand. It wouldn't have gotten this far. But also, if they already knew it, they should have had a watch on this guy. So there was a failure somewhere, clearly, um, somewhere in the system. A lot of argument has been thrown immediately to the security and stuff. And while you could make good arguments that that it was a failure again, the previous one, certainly there were some failures. This time, I mean, at least it was they were doing their job. They were ahead scouting. Now, why he wasn't found previous to this, I don't know. There was mention that this was kind of a last minute scheduling for him to do this, for Trump to play at this course that day. But somehow he knew about it 12 hours previously, or I mean, unless he just assumed like there was a good likelihood that he was going to do it. I mean, because Trump, to some degree, it's been known that he is kind of like a very scheduled person, that like he doesn't do too much off the cuff. It's pretty much, what he's going to do almost every day, or at least certain things he's going to do certain days. And this was a Sunday, and typically he does golf on Sundays. So he potentially could have just taken educated guess. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm sure we'll find out, or well, maybe we'll find. Maybe we won't. But that so far is where we are at. That he, for some reason, maybe it was that, like you have this idea that once, one act is made by one crazy, then all the crazies get this spark wild idea to attempt that same, especially if it was a failure, attempt that same act, right? There's this, one thing leads to a domino effect of others. It's like an inspiration, you could say. So it could have been that, they had the previous attempt that was apparently a fail, and this guy was like, "Oh, that dude was an amateur. I can do this better." I don't know. It's possible, but yes, he was not shot at. He's fine. This was caught in advance, but clearly you can have some questions somewhere in the line where that he potentially he should have already been watched, or should have already been flagged as somebody to keep an eye on. Now, maybe they were, but they weren't like really on it that hard, or maybe they were giving him a little bit of a leash to try to catch him in something, which clearly he is either too much of a leash, or they did find him catching him in something, but just happened to be that. I mean, there's multiple strategies to how an agency will decide to approach a situation. And sometimes it's a bad decision, right? Bad decisions are always made. But clearly there was something in this that was missed, I feel. I don't think it is to the degree of the previous one, but right now this has placed security on Trump up to the highest level. So now he is like full on, I'm assuming to the level of the current president. Because I'm guessing, and keep in mind also that the security has been systematically somewhat reduced here of late by Congress. They've little by little shortened the funding, and so it's Secret Service is been sort of dwindled down a little bit, not like crazy, but it still has somewhat of an effect. I mean, you have less, I'm sure, a few less than what they may have previously had. So there's thinned out a little bit. There's several steps here, several levels of some neglect happening apparently. I don't know that you could 100% point to one thing and say that that's it. I think it's just a whole collection of things that is making a bad situation or making it to where a bad situation is more possible. But yeah, so that's from what I understand, that's the gist of what we know about this guy. He's apparently obsessive, compulsive, um, possibly even psychologically a little crazy, um, schizophrenic, even possibly. I mean, to some degree, I don't know. It's really unknown as far as just him and his mental position. I mean, anybody who feels that going to this type of degree to solve a problem clearly has some issues. So take that as you will. But, like I said, he's okay. He's continuing on. I don't think this has stopped him in any way. And because really, he probably doesn't really even feel like it was that much of a threat. Although it potentially very much could have been, So, but, everybody come out, afterwards, condemning any type of political violence. I mean, from Biden to Harris, they're personally calling them. And, even Trump has, I think today or some recently, spoken on that, saying that they were like, genuinely nice to him on that. So, along with a lot of other, senators and stuff like that, it's come out, and that's the thing. There is no room for it. We can have disagreements. We can even like completely bash the hell out of each other verbally, but even though that's not necessary, but most certainly violence is never the answer. There's just no reason for it. As much as I want Trump to go away, I don't. I just want him to just physically go away. Like, just leave the scene. I don't mean like he needs to be taken out. That's not what I feel like majority of anybody, like, no matter how much you dislike him, I don't believe I think the majority of people don't want that. That's not like it takes a very seriously ill person to feel that going to that extreme, and we're, not just outside of even just, an assassination attempt on a political person. I'm not talking about from any type of like mass, assassination type, mass murder type, whatever. Whether it's a school or whether, like this, you have to be a mentally disturbed person for whatever reason. And there could be a lot of things that accumulated to cause that, but nevertheless, so anyways, that's what that was about. I'm gonna finish up here. I got a few other things I want to talk about. So, but yeah, everything is good, and we're moving on. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much. If you like what we're doing here, again, like I said, consider subscribing, like, share, comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the details of this guy. If there are, do you have other opinions of what potentially connections or what theories or whatever whatever. It's fine. I don't think there was anything colluded anywhere as far as like. I think this is just a guy that just straight up was going on his own actions. And anyways, thank you very much. And until next time, Clear Talk. Peace. I'm out.